evening, everybody. This is Jack Gregson, and welcome to the Saturday Night Fights. Glad you could make it. Tonight, two of the best welterweights in the entire welterweight division. Carmen Basilio from Canastota, New York. He's ranked number 2 by the TV Guide, and Pierre Langlois of France. And now let's go down to the ringside, and the ring announcer is Dick Tobin as he introduces these two young fellas to the near-capacity house
Ladies
here
and
at the
gentlemen,
War Memorial Auditorium
here is a
in
fast,
Syracuse.
rising youngster in the welterweight division from Syracuse's north side, Pat Manzi.
You remember seeing Pat. There's a young fella that's really doing quite a number of good things in the welterweight division.
Here is two pugilistic greats of a few years ago. A great lightweight fighter from Auburn, New York, Steve Haliko.
That'll bring back memories.
And the other popular, hard-punching, light-heavy, and heavyweight fighter from Syracuse, New York, Nick Barone.
You can tell by the crowd this is quite a fight town. They love their local lads, and well, they should.
Ladies and gentlemen, this boxing presentation is being presented by promoter Norm Rothschild of the Arena Boxing Club, Syracuse, New York. And the officials have been assigned here tonight by the New York State Athletic Commission are judges Ted Shields, Jack Kimball. The timekeeper is Mike Dempsey. Counting for the knockdowns at the bell is Jack Milici. The referee from New York City, Ruby Goldstein. Feature event of the evening, 10 rounds. From Canastota, New York, wearing black trunks with white stripes and weighing 148, New York State's welterweight champion and a leading contender for the welterweight title, Carmen Basilio. Basilio. His worthy opponent is from Paris, France. He's wearing white trunks with black stripes, and he weighs 153 and a half. The 8th ranking contender for the middleweight crown, Pierre Langlois. Langlois.
Now, I noticed that the announcer, Dick Tobin, called him Langlois. Well, actually, it is Langlois, but we talked with Pierre in his dressing room a little while ago, and he prefers in the ring to be known as Pierre Langlois, so that's what we'll call him.
Will you be a fight with us? I want you to make it a clean fight. I'm going to let you fight inside until I think you're securely locked in. And then I'm going to ask you to break. I want you both to take one step back. Remember, this not being a championship fight, there are only 3 knockdowns in any round, and round fight right then and there. If a man throws a knockdown, you'll go to a corner and stay there until I tell you to come out. Not before. Is everything clear to you? You know about the compulsory 8 count? I'll shake hands now. I'll come out.
Listen, Ruby. Listen, come here.
Walk into here. Walk into here.
Come here.
Walk into here, Mike.
Listen, what's that?
I'll be watching.
That heel.
I'll be watching everything.
You're waiting now for the bell and the start of round 1 in a 10-round welterweight goal that's important to both of these boys. To line them up for you, in the black trunks is Carmen Basilio. I keep saying Basilio. I'm going to correct myself. It's Basilio. In the white trunks, Pierre Langlois. Now, Langlois, in the white trunks, is a good boxer. He's very definitely ring-wise. Basilio, in the black trunks, on the other hand, is what is known as a go-and fighter. He's probably one of the best-conditioned welterweights in the business today, in addition to being ranked number 2. He's a great infighter. The experts figure that Langlois will jab and run away for the early rounds and fight in flurries when he has to. Basilio, on the other hand, they figure to walk in to Langlois when he can and do a lot of the infighting. A roar from the partisan capacity house in the Moore Memorial Auditorium here in Syracuse tonight every time Basilio does something that they can cheer about. In the black trunks, Carmen Basilio, Canastota, New York. In the white trunks, Pierre Langlois, and there's the bell at the end of round one. We're over now in the corner of Pierre Langlois. Let me explain to you, first of all, that there was a contractual agreement regarding the weight of these two men because Pierre Langlois normally fights in the middleweight division. But tonight it was agreed that he would never weigh over 155 pounds before he entered the ring. He actually weighs 153.5 pounds. Pierre Langlois was the welterweight champion of his home in France. Then he outgrew that division. He has had 61 professional fights. I should correct that by saying that he has won 61 professional fights. He's only lost 12, and he's had 12 KOs to his credit. He's a heady gentleman. Here's the bell for the start of round two. Pierre Langlois in the white trunks is now without his cohorts here this evening. Quite a contingent of French Canadians have made the visit down here to Syracuse to cheer him on. Basilio's got a tough nut to crack here, no question about it. Langlois is smart and he's cagey, and he can take a good punch. Basilio in the black trunks. There's the bell. It ends round 2. There's the bell and the start of round 3. Basilio starting to open up just a little bit. Now there is something that you want to watch tonight. Basilio figured to be his strongest in the infighting. But this boy, Pierre Langlois, is trying to outfight him on the inside. That can be the thing that will turn the tide in his favor, or it could be the thing that can get him in serious trouble. Don't forget that it was this same Carmen Basilio from Canastota, the Canastota Clowder, who decked the present welterweight champion of the world, Kid Gavilan, in the same ring in this same building. Goldstein, the third man in the ring. And in case you've just joined us, in the black trunks, who's back to the camera, is Carmen Basilio. In the white trunks facing you is Pierre Langlois. A huge crowd in the Memorial Auditorium tonight, and they traded punches then. Did you see that one? Pierre Langlois in the white trunks, more willing to trade punches tonight than I've ever seen before. There's the bell for the end of round 3. And this crowd's up. We're in the corner now of the Canastota Clowder. Canastota being a small town right outside Syracuse, New York. That's the hometown of Carmen Basilio. Carmen Basilio ranked number 2 by the TV Guide magazine, has won 32 fights. He's lost only 8, and he's had 17 KOs to his credit. He is, of course, by virtue of a win over Billy Graham, the New York State welterweight champion. He's fought Billy Graham twice, he won once, and he had a draw the second time out. Basilio definitely going for the body. saw something that Mr. Basilio did not count on. And that is the fact that Pierre Langlois is willing to get on the inside and fight it out with him in a furious flurry. He's done it on several occasions. That is where the experts figured that Basilio would be at his strongest. Actually, whether he is or not, well, that's for you to decide. The fight here in Syracuse by the experts was picked to be a 6-5 betting affair. You could take your choice. There's the bell for the end of round 4. Langlois is holding Basilio off with that left. And as a result of it, Basilio is having to throw his left and right at long range. That's why they look so looping tonight. And he's missed a couple of times with them. Goldstein, the third man in the ring, doing a wonderful job tonight. And credit to the two boys, too. They've been breaking nicely. The crowd got on Langlois just a minute ago for hitting on the break. It was unintentional, I'm sure. He's known as a completely fair and clean fighter. Basilio now trying to draw the lead from Langlois. Trying to make Langlois open up first so that Basilio can counter. Langlois fighting now the same style of fight he fought in the first round. He hasn't changed at all. Basilio ever aggressive. Langlois ever smart. Holding Basilio off of that left. Making Basilio fire at long range. Langlois either slipping a punch, riding with it, or completely ducking it and then countering with his own. Normally it's been a right. There's the bell for the end of round 5 and round 6. Langlois has an interesting habit of at the start of each round he'll come out and want to touch gloves. He extends his right arm. Have you noticed that? Basilio finally did agree to it this time, but in previous rounds he hasn't done it. Langlois confident indeed in these exchanges, these fast flurries that go on every now and again. Not the Langlois we've watched hit and run before. He seems supremely confident that he can take anything that Mr. Basilio can dish up. That will be ruled as a knockdown. It was not ruled a knockdown by Ruby Goldstein. It was not ruled a knockdown by Ruby Goldstein. If he had called it a knockdown, then it would have been compulsory to give Mr. Basilio the 8 count. That is mandatory here in the state of New York. There's the bell for the end of round 6. Langlois in the center of the ring first. Out to meet him in the black trunks is Basilio again. You notice they touch gloves at the start of every round now. Basilio weighed 148 pounds tonight. Pierre Langlois, 153 and a half. Exchange for you. But there again, Pierre Langlois, there is no question but what he is surprising Basilio. I don't mean to indicate by that he is necessarily out-fighting Basilio, but I am absolutely certain that Basilio did not count on Pierre Langlois trying to outfight him on the inside. But that's exactly what Pierre Langlois is trying to do here this evening. And This big crowd is eating it up, and we hope you are at home, too. Pierre Langlois is turned almost sideways to Basilio at all times. Gives Basilio less of a target to shoot at. And there's Langlois willing to mix it again with Basilio. And there's the bell for the end of round 7. Listen to this crowd. We are back in the corner of Pierre Langlois. Give this boy, Pierre Langlois, all kinds of credit. He is fighting tonight very definitely a heady fight. I do not mean to indicate by this that I'm giving an opinion as to whether or not Langlois is leading the fight at this moment. That is not my position. My position is merely one to report to you what I see. But you have to give credit where credit is due. And Mr. Langlois is fighting a very, very heady fight. He's jabbing with that left, countering when he can. He's drawing leads from Basilio. He's holding Basilio off. So the Basilio has to fire, and he is fighting Basilio away from the inside by flurries. There they are, touching gloves again. Basilio, ever aggressive, ever dangerous. I mentioned in the very first round that Basilio is probably one of the best, if not the best, conditioned athlete in the ring today. He will not tire. On that you can count. And he is ever dangerous for that very reason. He'll go after you all night long, which is exactly what he's doing tonight. Not only one of the most exciting, but one of the most interesting fights we've seen in a long, long while. You can almost watch these fellas think as you watch them square off one against the other. Pierre Langlois, when he gets on the inside, has tried to tie up Basilio. There he is, doing it now. Sure you saw on the screen, Ruby Goldstein tell Pierre Langlois to keep him up. State, of course, as you know, it's round scoring. In other words, 7 rounds to 3 rounds or 6 rounds to 3 rounds. If the rounds are even, then they have points that are awarded the winner of each round. There's the bell at the end of round 8. Cut. Pierre Langlois over the right eye. Let's repeat that again. Langlois is cut over the right eye. It is not a severe cut, but it is a cut. And it was bleeding when he went back to his corner. Round number 8 was possibly the best round that Basilio has had this evening. Left. Langlois has never been known as a knockout artist, but he is a fellow who lands an awful lot of punches. Let's say he throws a lot of punches, too. Basilio, on the other hand, has something like 17 knockouts to his credit. Langlois has awfully quick hands. Seconds. There's the bell for the end of round 9. Basilio, as you can see, is cut over the right eye also. Down and listen to this crowd. And Basilio is cut badly now over his right eye. When Basilio fell through the ropes, did you notice how he almost hit Ruby Goldstein? seconds to the end of the fight. Crowd. There's the bell. It's the end of the fight and the end of round 10. Dick Tobin, the ring announcer, is picking up the judges' slips, and we'll have the decision in just a moment. Well, this was a humdinger. And I might tell you that this capacity house at the War Memorial Auditorium here in Syracuse is, for the most part, on its feet awaiting this decision. And here it comes.
Referee Goldstein scores it 5-4-1 Basilio. Judge Jack Kimball scores it 4 rounds Basilio, 4 rounds Langlois, 2 even points, 4 points for Langlois, 4 points for Basilio. He scores the fight a draw. Judge Ted Shields scores it 5-4-1 even Langlois. Ladies and gentlemen, the fight is a draw.
There you have it. There you have it. It's a draw. Now let's go over that again for you. You watch him there in the ring. That's Pierre Langlois with his hands up in the air. You go ahead and look at him, and I'll tell you again how it was scored. Referee Ruby Goldstein gave it to Basilio, 5 rounds to 4 rounds, and he called one of them even. Now Jack Kimball called the fight. He was the judge. He called it 4-4 in rounds. And cheering you here, obviously, is for the local favorite, Carmen Basilio. Jack Kimball called the fight 4-4 even as to rounds. Then he called it 2 even as to rounds. In other words, he gave each boy 4 rounds, which was a total of 8, and then he called the other 2 rounds even. In points, which you do in New York State, if the rounds are even, then you go to the point system, and by point system, he gave each of the boys 4-4. So on Jack Kimball's scorecard, he had it a draw. Judge Ted Shields scored the fight this way. Langlois 5, Basilio 4, and 1 round was even. So it winds up it winds up a draw. A 10-round draw between Carmen Basilio, the Canastota Clouder, and Pierre Langlois of France. And it was a real whale of a go, was it not?